What's up, guys? It's AHoodedPsycho, and it's that time of the year again. It's Stanley Cup playoffs time. My favorite time of the hockey season, even the year, besides Christmas, of course. But, it's Stanley Cup playoffs time. The game is taken to another level. The players know it. The players know what's up for stakes, and some of them they flop. Some of them they step their game up to the next level. So I'm gonna give you my predictions of who's gonna win each round and how many games, and who's gonna eventually take home the Stanley Cup. So I guess let's get started. So the first matchup is the Colorado Avalanche versus the Minnesota Wild. Now both these teams don't have that much playoff experience, but because of the season that the Colorado Avalanche had this year with Patrick Watt on at the bench, I think they're going to win this series. Now Minnesota does have some star power in Parise and others, but their goaltending, we all know how Brizgal performs in the playoffs. I'm taking the Colorado Avalanche in 5 games. So the next matchup is the St. Louis Blues versus the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have been dominating for the last decade in the playoffs, and the St. Louis Blues seem like a contender, but I don't think it's this year. I think the Chicago Blackhawks, with their star power and Taves and Kane, will beat Ryan Miller and the St. Louis Blues. I got Chicago Blackhawks in 6. So the next matchup, Anaheim Ducks with the Dallas Stars. Now, Dallas Stars have not made the playoffs for quite a while, and the Anaheim Ducks had an amazing season with their MVP, Ryan Getzlaf. He's up for the Hart. He has a chance to win it, and the Ducks are gonna win this game or this series in 5 games. So this is the matchup to watch in the West: the San Jose Sharks versus the LA Kings. LA Kings always step their game up in the playoffs, and they're a hard team to play against. They're hard hitting, they have solid defense and goaltending, and the San Jose Sharks are just not. They do not know how to play in the playoffs. They fall apart in recent history. This is not their year. LA Kings in 7 games. So moving on to the Eastern Conference, we got the Boston Bruins versus the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the Detroit Red Wings barely squeaked by this time. They do not know the East as well as they do the West. They moved over, and now they're up against the Boston Bruins. That's going to be a tough battle. But I take the Boston Bruins over the Detroit Red Wings in 6 games. So now we got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Montreal Canadiens, the only Canadian team in the playoffs. Now, Stamkos missed the Olympics, and he's going to be hungry for some playoff action. He is going to be a monster in this playoffs. I'm taking Tampa Bay in 7 games. So the next matchup is the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, Pittsburgh, they're going to avenge their last season defeat over the Boston Bruins when they only scored 2 goals in 4 games. And they're going to sweep the Columbus Blue Jackets in 4 games because the Columbus, this is their second time in the playoffs. They do not know how to play in the playoffs. They have no experience. Their goaltender is not going to save them. Pittsburgh, with their star power, is going to beat the Blue Jackets. Now, for me, this is the series to watch in the East: the New York Rangers versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, both these teams are gritty, built for the playoffs, and they're going to have a death match, basically. They're going to go all the way to 7 games, and the Rangers are going to take it in 7. I think Henrik Lundqvist is going to be solid, but it's going to be a hard-hitting, gritty series. Moving to the second round, we got the Colorado Avalanche versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Colorado Avalanche are young. They have not been deep in the playoffs or even made the playoffs. This is their first year with their new head coach, and the Chicago Blackhawks are defending Stanley Cup champions. Same roster. Chicago Blackhawks, with their experience, are going to beat the Avalanche in 6 games. So this is another matchup to watch in the West: the Anaheim Ducks versus the LA Kings. Now, both these teams have won Stanley Cups with their core players and have been through the playoffs before. They are hard hitting, they're solid defensively, but the Anaheim Ducks have Ryan Getzlaf. Ryan Getzlaf is going to be the difference maker in this series. It's going to be low scoring, hard hitting, and it's going to be a great matchup. Anaheim Ducks in 7 games. Now moving on to the East, we got the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now this series is a tough series. Both these teams have solid defense, solid goaltending, and a lot of scoring power. But I think the Boston Bruins are eventually going to take this series in 7 games. Although Stamkos is going to be a huge threat for the Lightning, I think the Bruins are going to win. Now we got the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins are solid on the offense. They are a high-scoring team, while the Rangers are the opposite. They're a low-scoring, solid defense team. But it's going to come down to this. The Rangers are going to get a lot of good bounces on Marc-Andre Fleury, and they're going to shut it down with their defense and Henrik Lundqvist. Rangers in 6. So now we got the Western Conference Final in the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Anaheim Ducks. Now both these teams have won Stanley Cups in the past, but it's going to come down to their captains, Jonathan Toews and Ryan Getzlaf. Both these players are going to be playing huge minutes in all situations for their teams, and it's going to come down to can Jonathan Toews stick with Ryan Getzlaf because he's going to get hit a lot. Ryan Getzlaf is a hard-hitting player. He plays gritty. He knows how to score. He has those finesse hands. But Chicago does have the skill. It's going to come down to the goaltenders too. Does the Anaheim Ducks is their goaltending situation sorted out? Chicago has Corey Crawford, which is he going to be solid this series? Who knows? I'm going to say Ducks in 7. It's going to be a tough series for both their captains. So now we got the Eastern Conference Final, and we got the Boston Bruins versus the New York Rangers. Now, both these teams are solid defensively, but the Boston Bruins have the scoring touch. Now, the difference maker is Henrik Lundqvist in this series. If he can shut down the Bruins and the Rangers can give him some goal support, they will win. But that's not going to happen. The Bruins, with their scoring touch, solid defense, solid goaltending, are going to win this series in 6 games. So now we got the Stanley Cup Final. We got the big bad Bruins in the East and the Anaheim Ducks on the pond in the West. Now, both these teams were separated by 1 point in the regular season for good reason. They're both amazing. They both had amazing years. Ryan Getzlaf had an amazing year, and the Bruins offensively, they've been scoring a lot and they've been shutting it down. Now, when I first started this, I didn't know that both the Bruins and the Ducks at the top of their conference would reach the final. I don't like that when people predicted that. But you know what? For good reason. Both these teams made it through the brackets, their divisions, their conference, and they're here now in the final. And they're going to have one game deciding it. It's going to be Game 7. It's going to be a tight one. I want to say the Ducks, but I want to say the Bruins too. But I got to only pick one. I'm going to say the Bruins. The Bruins are going to cap off their amazing year with a Stanley Cup and beat the Anaheim Ducks in Game 7. So those are my predictions for the 2014 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Boston Bruins taking home Stanley in Game 7 against the Ducks. Those are my predictions. That's not what's going to happen. I'm just giving you my educated guess on each series. And the best team wins, which is never going to happen. The NHL playoffs are a different kind of monster. Any team can win. The Anaheim Ducks could not even make it past the Dallas Stars in the first round. Or the Detroit Red Wings could beat the Bruins. Who knows? The NHL playoffs are the best playoffs because any team has a chance to win. It's a fresh season. Any team can win. They all have a chance to win. Thanks for watching.